Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Hockey on the Spot. Brandon Barenfeld. I'm Brandon Barenfeld. Thank you for joining me. This is episode 54 of Hockey on the Spot, and we got more preseason coverage from last night's action. 7 games last night. But first, just a few quick updates. Starting with Phil Kessel's suspension. It has been confirmed that Phil Kessel will be suspended. He'll be suspended for 3 preseason games. So they'll be without him for the remainder of the preseason, but I believe he will be back for opening night. Also, a couple of releases from the KHL are yes, one cut from the KHL and one cut from the Swiss League. Cut from the KHL, forward Eric Belanger, who had 0 points in just 7 games, was a -6. He has announced his retirement. Former NHL player for the Los Angeles Kings, Carolina Hurricanes, Atlanta Thrashers, Minnesota Wild, Washington Capitals, and Phoenix Coyotes, as well as most recently the Edmonton Oilers. And former Hurricanes, Flyers, and Sharks goaltender Brian Boucher has been cut by Swiss team EV Zug after allowing just 16 goals in just 5 games. With stats like that, I could kind of see why. Um, and also, a release from tryout. Colton Gillies, has a former first-round pick, has been released from his pro trial contract with the Buffalo Sabres. However, he has signed an AHL contract with their affiliate, the Rochester Americans. And last but not least, um, um, speaking of the Buffalo Sabres, forward Corey Tropp will miss 4 to 6 weeks after undergoing surgery to fix a broken jaw suffered in Sunday's mayhem in Toronto. In his fight with forward Jamie Devane. So hopefully he can get that repaired and hopefully he can get back on the ice soon. So with all that being said, let's now dive right into our preseason action from last night. Starting with the New Jersey Devils and the Philadelphia Flyers in Philly. Big win for the New Jersey Devils by a final score of 2-1. Ryan Clough making his preseason debut last night. And he played really well. He had an assist in the game as well as 3 hits. The former New York Rangers / San Jose Sharks forward, now playing for the New Jersey Devils. New Jersey Devil goals scored by Marek Zidlitsky, assisted by, as I mentioned earlier, Ryan Clough and Patrick Elias, and Mike Sislo would end up getting the game winner, assisted by Rod Pelly and Jacob Josephson. Rod Pelly, another New Jersey Devils returnee, last played in the NHL for the Anaheim Ducks. He's trying to make a comeback. Corey Schneider was brilliant once again, although his shutout streak did come to an end last night in the third period on the power play. With just over a minute remaining, he made 22 saves on 23 shots, a 957 save percentage. So he still played well and still earned first star honors despite giving up that goal. And for the Philadelphia Flyers, their only goal coming on the power play from Kimmo Timonen, assisted by Claude Giroux and Vincent Lecavalier. Ray Emery, not so good or not great. 17 saves on just 19 shots and 895 save percentage. So a big win in Philadelphia for the New Jersey Devils, who continue to be hot in this preseason, riding a hot goaltender in Corey Schneider. Next, the Ottawa Senators and the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Ottawa Senators coming up with a big win in Toronto, 3-2. Ottawa goals being scored by Zach Smith, assisted by Colin Greening and Mark Borowiecki, a guy trying to make the team. Then next, former first-round pick Jim O'Brien would get on the board, assisted by Corey Cowick and Patrick Wierkosh. And Colin Greening would score the game winner, assisted by Mark Stone and Cody Ceci, their first-round pick from 2012. Robin Lehner would get the full start in net, making 26 saves on 28 shots, a 929 save percentage, and earning first star honors. He was really good. The Toronto Maple Leafs goals coming from James Van Riemsdyk, assisted by Tyler Bozak and David Clarkson, who I am surprised was able to play in this game due to the fact that he did earn a 10-game suspension. And Dion Phaneuf would get the other goal, assisted by Joffrey Lupul and Tyler Bozak. Um, James Reimer, he was good, even though he got the loss. 34 saves on 37 shots, a 919 save percentage. So he was good. But again, why David Clarkson was allowed to play in this game is beyond me. But either way, congrats to the Ottawa Senators. Next, the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Nashville Predators. Big win for the Nashville Predators. But at home, 2-1 was the final score. Nashville goals coming from Simon Moser, a guy who they signed on a pro tryout contract, with Rich Clune getting the only assist on that goal, and Kevin Klein would score the game winner, assisted by Paul Gaustad. The goaltenders, they got a splitting goal. Pekka Rinne played the majority of the game, making 14 saves on 14 shots. He went perfect, and Marek Mazanec was the backup for that game. He only faced 3 shots and made 2 saves, a .667 save percentage. He did give up the only Tampa Bay goal, which was scored by Steven Stamkos, assisted by Jonathan Drouin and JT Brown. Anders Lindback got the full nod in net for this game, making 31 saves on 33 shots, a .939 save percentage. So congratulations to the Nashville Predators. Next, a wild game between the Dallas Stars and the Colorado Avalanche. In Colorado, 5-3 would be the final score. Big win for the Dallas Stars. Jamie Benn and Colton Sevier doing all the scoring in this game. Colton Sevier would earn himself a hat trick, and Jamie Benn would have 2 goals. The first goal being scored by the hat trick man, Colton Sevier, assisted by defenseman Kevin Connaughton and Lane McDermott. Next, Jamie Benn would score 2 straight. The first one assisted by Colton Sevier, who added an assist for a 4-point night, and the second one being the second Jamie Benn goal being assisted by his brother, Jordy Benn. Next, Colton Sevier's scoring continued. He scored his second goal, assisted by Travis Morin. And then Colton Sevier would complete the hat trick with an empty net backhand goal, assisted by Jordy Benn. So Jamie Benn had 2 goals, and Jordy Benn had 2 assists. Kari Lehtinen got the full nod in net and was really good. 26 saves and 29 shots, an .897 save percentage. The Dallas Stars, before that empty net goal, had a 4-0 lead. The Colorado Avalanche pushed for a comeback, and it all started with a power play goal by Gabriel Landeskog, assisted by Paul Stastny and Matt Hunwick. Next, Brad Malone, who has been absolutely brilliant in this preseason. He had the game winner against the Anaheim Ducks the other night. He scored to make it 4-2, assisted by Cody McLeod and Matt Hunwick. And Paul Stastny would make it for a 1-goal game, assisted by P.A. Parento. John Sebastian Giguère got the start in net, but was relieved early. He making just 6 saves on 10 shots, a .600 save percentage. Not a good night for John Sebastian Giguère. A game I believe he was expected to play the whole entire game, but was then replaced by Sami Aidocalio, who went perfect. 15 saves on 15 shots. So Sami Aidocalio was brilliant, but it did not take away the fact that John Sebastian Giguère was not, and it led to the loss for the Colorado Avalanche. Congrats to the Dallas Stars. Next, the New York Rangers and the Edmonton Oilers playing their second straight night in a part of 4 games in 5 nights. They get the day off today. They had, again, before last night, they had 5 days off, and the Philadelphia Flyers actually went through the same thing before playing the New Jersey Devils tonight. But it would be the Edmonton Oilers that would come out on top at the Rexall Place 5-3. Edmonton goals being scored by Taylor Hall, assisted by Justin Schultz and Ales Hemsky. Then David Perron would score just after an expiring power play, assisted by Marco Arcabello and Jordan Eberle. Then in the second, David Perron. Actually, no, that was not the expiring power play goal. That was the deflection goal. Next, David Perron would score his second of the game just as the power play was about to expire. It was considered a power play goal, assisted by Jeff Petrie and Jordan Eberle. Next, Ben Eager would score a short-handed goal just as a Ranger power play was expiring, assisted by Ryan Smith. And last but not least, Jordan Eberle would score, assisted by Darnell Nurse, who had a great game, and Marco Arcabello. The goaltending was very good. Jason LaBarbera would get the full nod net with Devin Dubnyk as his backup. 24 saves on 27 shots, an .889 save percentage. Jason LaBarbera was very good. For the New York Rangers, they did get a few goals. First one being scored by Mark Stahl, who continues his tremendous play in the preseason, assisted by Matt Zuccarello. That made the game 1-0, but that would be the Rangers' only lead in the game. The second goal, scored by JT Miller, who made his preseason debut, assisted by Aaron Asham and Chris Kreider. And then in the third period, Dan Girardi would score a power play goal, assisted by Ryan McDonough and Benoit Pouliot. Martin Biron would get the start in net and would play the whole game, but was not that good, making just 17 saves on 22 shots, a .773 save percentage. So a night to forget for the New York Rangers. They will have a day off today, and hopefully they will begin to make some more cuts today. But congrats to the Edmonton Oilers. Next, the Anaheim Ducks and the Los Angeles Kings in LA. The Ducks look to erase a 6-0 deficit at home from their last meeting. They could not do it. Though they did not get blown out this time, they still lost by a final score of 2-1. LA coming up big with this win. They did surrender a 1-0 lead, but then came up big afterwards. Starting with a power play goal by Justin Williams, assisted by Alec Martinez and Slava Voinov. And then in the third period, Anze Kopitar would score the game winner, assisted by Dwight King and Justin Williams. Justin Williams had a brilliant game. And Jonathan Quick was equally as brilliant. 27 saves on 28 shots, a .964 save percentage. He was very, very good. And for the Anaheim Ducks, as I mentioned, they did take a 1-0 lead. It was a power play goal by defenseman Hampus Lindholm, who continues his hot play in the preseason, assisted by Nick Bonino and Patrick Maroon. Victor Foss got the full start in net, making 31 saves and 33 shots, a .939 save percentage. So he was good and good enough to earn third-star honors, but not good enough to get the win. So players like Hampus Lindholm making it harder for Anaheim Ducks coaching staff and GMs to make cuts. But again, congratulations to the Los Angeles Kings. And last but not least, the Vancouver Canucks and the San Jose Sharks at the newly named SAP Center, or SAP Center. After the Vancouver Canucks finally got themselves a win in dominating fashion against the Phoenix Coyotes last night, they got dominated by the San Jose Sharks last night. The Phoenix Coyote game was 2 nights ago, I should say. They got dominated by San Jose last night, 5-0, the final score. San Jose getting all the goals. Thomas Hertl would get 2 goals, including the first one, which was assisted by Scott Hannon and Joe Thornton. Then Danny Boyle would get up on the board, assisted by Tyler Kennedy and Joe Pavelski. Next, in the second period, San Jose would get themselves 2 power play goals. The first one by Joe Thornton, assisted by Patrick Marleau and Logan Couture, and then Logan Couture from Joe Pavelski and Dan Boyle. And then Thomas Hertl would get his second of the game, assisted by Brent Burns and Joe Thornton. Antti Niemi was brilliant, making a perfect 24 saves on 24 shots. So he was really good. Brent Burns, by the way, moving to forward for the entire season this year. And for the Vancouver Canucks, nothing going for any of them, including the Sedin twins. They were really, really bad. Eddie Lack got the full nod in net. Roberto Luongo would sit on the bench. And he made 28 saves on 33 shots, an .848 save percentage. So a night to forget for the Vancouver Canucks. They will take on the New York Rangers in 2 nights, and the two former coaches, Alain Vigneault and John Tortorella, will be coaching against each other's former teams. But again, congrats to the San Jose Sharks. And that is it for last night's preseason action, and that'll do it for episode 54 of Hockey on the Spot. This has been Hockey on the Spot with Brandon Barenfeld. I'm Brandon Barenfeld. See you guys again tomorrow. Thank you, and have a great day.